Hello everyone, it's me Antonio Francisco, the sensible teacher talking to you, and be welcome to a Casa de Fluência YouTube channel. Today we have someone in this episode very special because he has one of the most beautiful American accents. I'm talking about Mr. Isaac. How are you?
I'm fine. What about you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. So could you tell us a little bit more about you?
Yeah, I was like, finally, it's time to hit the bullseyes and state my introduction. My name's Isaac. A lot of people know me as Teacher Isaac
Good.
because apart from being an English teacher, I'm an American accent and pronunciation coach as well. So that's
Okay.
how people usually refer to me.
Okay, good. How is it being a pronunciation coach? Pronunciation coach.
It is actually great. A lot of people have been praising me, giving compliments, and some seek for help. And it is actually good to be recognized. I'm starting to have this experience. Like almost everywhere you go, there's somebody saying, I've seen your video on TikTok and this type of thing. So it's a good experience. I've never seen
Interesting.
anybody who like dislikes this kind of experience.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So tell me something. Was it hard to develop this accent?
I wouldn't actually say that my experience was hard. I would say that it usually is hard because it requires a lot of time and a lot of effort, and every accent works with rules. And
Of
there are
course.
a lot of rules to be learned, and people can be perplexed about the amount of rules they need to learn. But my experience was not hard because I always like to have fun while learning. So I learned with songs, I learned
Good.
with everything, and all the rules I was learning, I used to apply when I was listening to music and singing along, watching the movies and shadowing what they were saying in the movies. So I always had fun, and I'm addicted to English.
Okay.
I'm addicted to
Good,
American accent and
good.
pronunciation. I'm perfectionist. I want everything to be perfect.
Good,
Yeah, there's
good.
somebody who told me your English is so formal. Why do you speak like this? You never speak any formal. But I
good.
do in reality with
Yeah,
my
yeah.
friends.
Uh-huh,
Yeah.
uh-huh.
But in this kind of environment, of course, I'm formal.
Okay, good. So, do you think knowing the rules of how to master the American accent or even the British accent is enough to have an American or British accent? Let's talk particularly about the American accent. Do you think it's enough to know about the rules? Like I know many rules
Yeah.
about the American accent.
It
Is that
is.
enough?
It is not enough.
Good.
It is not enough, unfortunately. It takes a lot of things. It is not enough because, let me give you an example.
Sure.
One of the rules is a flap T. The rule says that
the
whenever T
T
is
is
in between two
two
vowel
vowels.
sounds in an unstressed syllable, we can transform it into a D.
D,
And a lot of
yes.
people know this. They say water, they say Peter, they say a lot of things, but they don't have the genuine American accent and pronunciation when you listen to them speaking. But they use certain rules, so the rules are not enough. There are more.
Okay, so do you think if if I pronounce words in the American English patterns, but I don't have that intonation of the American people and so on, can I consider myself as an American English speaker? It's just I have the pronunciation like I use the flap T and many other rules like the R emphasized. You see, but I don't have that intonation, that musicality while talking to people that only the American English people have. Do you think it's enough to be considered as an American English speaker?
No, it is not. It is not. Because, as I said, it takes a lot of things. So, for example, you have the pronunciation, you pronounce words well, but you don't have the intonation. Your English is not going to sound natural.
Natural, sure.
It's gonna sound forced because you're gonna be using the American pronunciation and American not actually accent, but the American pronunciation with the intonation of your native language. That's what's
Good.
gonna happen. And a lot of people have been speaking like this. For example, let me just skip a little bit, run away from English for a second. In Portuguese, you would say, for example, que se para casa? Something like that. This is the intonation, everything here. But in English, you have to be more alive. Do you want to go home? So if you don't have this intonation, if you don't have this melody, the rhythm, you're not going to speak like an American. You have to know when to go up, when to come down on the stress. That's called stress.
Okay, good. Now we are talking about pronunciation, we are talking about accent, we are talking about intonation. Do you think is there any difference between pronunciation, accent, and intonation? So if there is, I want you to tell us, please.
Yeah, of course, as an accent coach, I got an answer for all of this. And yes, there is a difference between pronunciation and accent. Pronunciation is the way that words are made to sound. You make the word sound a certain way. For example, water, this word. How would a British person make this word sound? We'll say water or depending on the region or on the social group. Because the definition of accent is that accent is the distinctive way of pronouncing a language, which is related to a region or a social group. And why is it important to mention the social groups?
This is pronunciation, right?
No. Accent.
Accent,
is a distinctive way of pronouncing a language. This is rather, which is related to a region, a place, or a social group. And why is it important to not only talk about the region, but the social group as well? Because let's suppose the region is Angola. This is the place.
Okay.
But you're not going to tell me that in Angola, everybody has the same accent. For example, people from Luanda, from Cabinda in the south, they don't have the same pronunciation.
Yeah, when you talk,
so that's about the social groups. Because even in US, people from New York, people from Alabama have totally different accents. In Alabama, they speak too slow, and in New York, they speak too fast. And the difference between accent and pronunciation is that pronunciation is inside accent.
Okay.
Because there's no accent without pronunciation.
Okay. When you say that pronunciation is inside the accent, do you mean the we can have also like different ways of pronouncing words?
Exactly. We can have different ways to pronounce the words.
Good. So when we talk about the flap T, and we know what makes the American English different from the British English is it's easy to be identified because of the flap T. So when we talk about this, are we talking about pronunciation or accent?
Okay. When we talk about the flap T, unfortunately, people have been misunderstanding this. We're not talking about accent at all. We're talking about a part of accent, something that constitutes the accent but not the accent. Because what people don't know is that even British use the flap T. They don't use as often as Americans. Americans use it everywhere, but British people use the flap T as well. Not only in the songs, but even when they're speaking. There are certain connections that they do. Yeah, for example, they can say, "What are you doing?" But randomly. Not everybody is going to say, "What are you doing?" Sometimes they can say, "What are you doing?" But they are not American. So American accent takes more than that.
Okay, good. Thank you for this sensible answer. I have another question, and that's related to American and the British English. So could you tell us the most common differences that we have between the American and the British English?
Okay. Well, British English and American English are way different. And the differences between the American English and the British English, because we're not talking about American accent and British accent, but Englishes. So, first, accent differences, because the American English has the American accent inside, and the British English has the British accent inside of it. And secondly, the expressions, the words. Of course, English and English, American, British, but this is English, a language, and there are a lot of expressions that are the same in both languages. I would say 80% or 70% of the expressions, but 30 or 20% of the expressions are specific to each one of the accents. For example, an American will say faucet, while a British will say tap. American will say soccer, while British will say football. Trash can, dustbin, flashlight and torch. Truck and lorry.
Good.
Candy, lollipop.
Good, good.
Or candy and sweets. So there are many differences. Pronunciation, accent, everything is going to be different between the two of those.
Okay. I have a question. It's always, I'm always forgetting. It's like okay. We know the most of the people, and most people when they start learning English, they tend to learn the American accent. I want to know from your perspective. Do you think the reasons that make people doing this is the fact of it being way much easier than the British English, or because of the influence the American English has in the world, or even the opportunities that American English can offer that the British English cannot?
Okay. It is because of the popularity. The popularity because American English or American accent specifically is more common everywhere. It's like when it comes to Portuguese, would you rather watch a movie with a Brazilian translation or Portuguese translation?
Brazilians.
Yeah, because that's the most common, and Portuguese would be like kind of boring.
Boring, yeah, very.
I've watched a movie. It was a documentary about Cristiano Ronaldo's life. Yeah, and that was Portuguese. The story was so good, but the man that was narrating had a Portuguese accent. And why is it a little bit boring without disrespecting? It is because Portuguese are uptight. They are overly serious. They sound very serious.
Serious.
Yeah, like they don't have, as I was giving example, that vivacity that they're not so thrilled or expressive.
Okay,
when
let me answer this. Let me ask you this question. Do you think that if the British English had the impact the American English has in the world, do you think the British English should have the influence that we have with the American English nowadays?
Yes, it would actually have. It would.
So it means that it doesn't have to do with the way they sound, probably just because of the exposure, because we would, I think, be more that used to that. Okay, we would be more used to the British English, and we would find that being a little bit more funny or more fun and things like that. You see, that happens also with Portuguese.
Yeah.
I think when you are used to the Portuguese version of Portuguese, I think it's much interesting for you to watch movies in
Brazilian translation.
So I think that's relative.
Yeah, but something very important to be considered is also the culture. Because people also go for one or another accent because of the culture.
The culture.
Because Americans have that super vibe.
Yeah.
It's fun there.
Yeah, they are live.
Even yesterday, I was watching a movie, and that was a court. They were in a court, in a court attending to a case. And a court is a very, very formal environment, but everything is funny there. So Americans have that super vibe that everybody likes, and the songs as well. British are a little bit old-fashioned.
In that it makes you feel like sleeping. You see.
Yeah, that's why. But it actually leads to a lot of misconceptions. Because what are some of the misconceptions people have about American accent? Some think that having the American accent is speaking just like a gangster. They think that speaking like an American is having the American accent, but that isn't. Some other people think that using plenty slangs, a huge amount of slangs, and filler words, yeah, they think that being an American is yeah, and I was there, and and know what I'm saying. So that is not being American.
American.
And some other people have the melody and the intonation, but if you go deeper into pronouncing words with the accurate sounds, they do not have.
Of course, and I was about to go there. So that would probably be the second question, the following question. Do you think the Black English has a big influence on the difference that we find between the American and the other version of English?
Yes, it has, because it's very unique. It's super, super duper unique. It's real. It's only related to those people who speak Black English. For example, people from Memphis. Yeah, people from Memphis, they tend to use this English a lot in the most informal places. Yeah, but
Good.
that is not what the word or what the expression American accent stands for. Because I told you about the social groups, that accent is related to a region or to a social group.
groups.
So in American, there are a lot of social groups. So there are some social groups that use the Black English. Do you agree with me? But some other social groups don't, because there are more formal places and environments and cities that use different accents. Even here in Luanda, people from Kakwak and people from the center of the city, they speak differently. One is more formal than the other one.
Social level
And
difference.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, and do you think even the American English who American people who speak with a standard, who speak standard American English.
Yeah, very important point, the standard.
Yeah, standard American English. They look at the Black English as identity.
They do. Thank you for reminding me of this, because I was about to mention the standard American accent. There are a lot of accents, but there is one which is called the standard American accent. That is what the expression American accent relates to, not Black English or this type of things. And now I'd like to pick back up on what you asked. Well, Black English is, yes, seen as identity for the Americans, because it belongs
Regardless
to them. It
of
was
the color,
created
the skin color.
Regardless of the skin color. Just imagine here, we also have slangs, and even today I was talking in a WhatsApp group, and somebody asked me, "Do you also use slangs?" But I was speaking Portuguese with them. They said, do you also use slangs? Do you speak ghetto?" I said, sometimes when I want to have fun, but I'm usually formal. In my environments, I'm very formal. But sometimes when I want, I like to use it because it's fun. Yeah, and the same way, we can see it as identity. When we look at the Angolan slangs and we look at Brazilian and Portuguese people, they don't have it. This is ours.
This
so
is
that's
our
why
identity.
Black English belongs to them, and it's seen as an identity as well.
Okay, good. So there is another question also related to the American. Now let's go deeper to the American accent. So what can one do to master the American accent?
Okay. Well, this is a question that a lot of people ask. Some ask themselves, some ask me, some ask other people, some ask the internet and the AIs. Yeah, but I'm going to break down the answer right now. Okay, in order for you to acquire the American accent, I'm going to give you some tips. First, improve the R sound, because American English or American accent is a rhotic accent, a rhotic language. It means that you always pronounce the R. Of course, with some exceptions, because every rule has an exception. For example, in the second month of the year, we don't pronounce the first R in American English. We say February. February. Yeah, so there are exceptions for every rule, but perfect the
We
R
say
sound.
February. No, you're saying yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I would say February.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I used to struggle a lot, to say February, February, like
February.
yeah, but it's February.
February.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, so the R's need to be tight. They need to be perfect, and perfect the T's as well. I'm not gonna say flap T because this is the only one people know. But there's the glottal stop, the flap T, the stop T, or the held T. There are a lot of T's. T is a very complicated letter that can have a lot of different pronunciations. So perfect all the T's as well. Perfect the. I would say, in order not to mention each one of the sounds because there are a lot, I would say perfect each one of the sounds that American accent has. The T, the R, the M, the N, and there are rules. For example, the letter E at the end is not pronounced. We never pronounce the letter E at the end of the words unless it's a foreign word, a word borrowed from French or from another language.
Yeah.
But originally, words coming originally from English, when
They
they
are
have
not
the letter
pronounced.
E at the end, that E is not
It's not
pronounced.
pronounced.
That's why NAME, it's not read name or name.
Name. Yeah.
We just say name.
Name.
We stop
Name.
at the
Yeah,
letter
yeah.
M because E is not pronounced. Lame. Even dude. Yeah, way to call people dude. So if you look for words with the ending E, the silent E, we don't pronounce it. So there are a lot of rules, and also you have to improve your intonation because intonation has to do with the rhythm, with the balance, where you go up, where you come down. You cannot stress the function words. We only stress the content words, the words that carry the most meaning and the most valuable meaning in a sentence. We don't stress prepositions. I'm not saying I'm going to school. No, I'm going to school. So to has to be down there, and school has to go up. That is intonation. Then there are some other words like elision, assimilation, intrusion. Those are also patterns that you have to improve in order to acquire the American accent because there are a lot of things. That's why it gets hard for me to remember all of them. It's like I got a whole book here in my mind.
Good. That really means that you studied a lot.
Yeah.
So I have another question. Do you think the way we master the American accent can affect negatively in our first language? Like, do you think the fact of speaking the American English impact or had a negative impact on your Portuguese?
No, it doesn't really have. It doesn't really have. That's why when we speak, when somebody who only sees us speaking English, when they see us speaking Portuguese, they find it strange. They find it that guy looks so weird when he speaks Portuguese. Yeah,
Sure.
because those are totally different things. Totally different things. People are not going to find it strange or weird only when you don't have an original American accent or British accent. When it's mixed with your language intonation, for example, you don't have the original American accent, you will speak the English words with your Portuguese accent, then there's no difference. But if you get completely out of your Portuguese comfort zone and get into English atmosphere, and then you come back to Portuguese, people will see two different things. That's what happens.
Okay, so
Let me just add up something. Sorry, because I remember.
yeah, feel free.
For example, there's something called placement. Placement is where your voice is going to be when you speak, while speaking. For example, in Portuguese, the placement goes up. We speak everything. We say everything like we're throwing it out. You make a little bit of pressure here. A lot of people don't notice because they're not accent coaches, but I have to be aware also the muscles. It's not only the sounds, but everything, the muscles, everything that has to move, it has to be quiet. So you make a little bit of pressure here, and everything goes up. This is Portuguese, but it's like you want to scream. But in English, the placement is totally down here. So instead of all right, this will be a Portuguese pronunciation. I will say all right. The placement of Portuguese, all right, all right. But just notice the difference. In English, I'll say all right, all right.
All right.
So it has to be here, everything down. All right. Yeah.
These
if
are
you say-
techniques.
yeah. If you say I want to go, I want to go, you're speaking with your placement from your home language. But if I say I want to go, I speak with I'm speaking with the placement of American English, and it starts sounding American by then. Yeah. If you notice, my accent is very relaxed. It's everything here, very calm. Yeah, chill. Okay, all right. It's always like this because I struggle the. It's not actually the struggle because struggle represents difficulty, but I look for always keeping my placement here, and that's also called vocal fry when you make the words die at the end. Yeah, at the end. Vocal fry. When you finish like this, those are techniques.
So, as a pronunciation coach, I want to have your point of view about
Okay.
our our African English accents.
Ah, okay.
Do you think we necessarily need to learn the American English in order to feel like we speak English?
No,
and
we don't.
is it bad to because I see many people online saying like, yeah, you are always trying to force yourself to speak like an American, like a British, but you forget that we have English here in Africa. You don't learn that. So what's your point of view on
First,
that?
First, I'm going to talk about the second point, and then I'm going to go back to the first. So the second, like, we should not care about what people think, what other people think.
That.
People have dreams. People have objectives. You do have dreams. I have my dreams. My dreams are different from yours.
Good.
Your desirabilities are totally different from mine.
Yeah,
So when I want something and I strongly want to go for it, I'm eager to go for it. And you come and drop your comments about my perspective, my dream. You are seeing my dream through your experiences you had. That's like somebody who finished university but doesn't have a job. If you tell them that you're going to enroll yourself into a university, they're gonna tell you, it's not worth it. There's no more jobs or employments in this country. You're not gonna have a good job and this type of things. It's not worth it. Quit university and start making informal businesses and side hustles because that's better. Because they're seeing this through their experiences, what they had. So when people say there's African English accent and you should learn that, don't care about it. Okay, just listen to them and then keep going for what you want. And then the first point. No, we shouldn't. We don't have to. We must not acquire the American accent in order to feel like we speak English. No. If I said that, if I agreed to that, that would be actually mean of me and incorrect as well, inaccurate.
Okay.
Because we have our accents and those are called identity. It's like, and some people forget their originalities, their roots. For example, we've been seeing a lot of people here who struggle to speak like Brazilian or like people from Portugal. Yeah, the European Portuguese. But they are Angolans. So you have an accent, you were born, you learned how to speak this accent, and you want to forget your identity. They say that our accent is incorrect and that is the correct one, and they go for that. But you're gonna be sounding like somebody from there because accent is related to the region. So I listen to you and I'm gonna say this is a Portuguese guy, but you're Angolan, so you're not representing your country, and that's why we need to keep our standards. But as a non-native, as a non-English native, I was born. No, I wasn't actually born speaking, but I learned since my childhood I speak Portuguese, and then I had to learn English. But when I decided to learn English, I had two choices: American or British. And of course, I went for my personal desire, for my preference.
And why didn't you
Yeah.
look at
British.
no, why didn't you look at the Namibian or South African English or
First,
even Nigerian English?
Firstly, I didn't know. I didn't know about any
good.
African accent. I just I only used to have contact with American English content
Oh,
and some
good.
British as well, but I didn't know the difference.
Yeah.
But I used to resonate or to relate to American accent. Yeah, because when I listened to the songs, I used to have a lot of fun with them. I still remember the songs, and the channels I used to watch used to be the music channels used to be 106 called Kiss and 107 called Smash It. Yeah, those are the channels that I used to
Yeah,
watch.
I used
in
to
order
watch.
to-
Yeah, I used to watch
yeah, you
those
remember.
channels too.
That's
So
where
that's all about references, right?
preference. It's
Yeah.
not because this is easier, that is harder. Because as somebody who studied American English and studied in the American accent and studied in a very funny and unwinding way, I would say that it was easy for me, and it's easier than the British. This is what I say because I studied this one. But I'm not actually there studying the British accent. You have to have somebody who speaks the British accent and studied British accent to tell you how hard or how easy it is.
Yeah.
So if you studied British accent, you're gonna say, no, British accent is so easy. You just have to pronounce it like this, like that, because you know, and you have this experience. You had a training, and you even if you're autodidact, somebody who teaches themselves, and you taught yourself the British accent, you're gonna say that it's easy. That it's easy because you had contact with it. But you can't talk about the American atmosphere because you haven't been there. And that's why I'm here to say that American accent is easy for whoever puts into effort and tries to make it fun. Don't be uptight while learning it. But I cannot say, I'm gonna say that British is harder for me because I dominate this one. And if I struggle to imitate British, of course, I don't know all the rules. I just have to know some partial rules in order to teach my students the differences start coming about here and there and there and there. But I'm not gonna go deep into that. So it's about preference. It's not about one being harder or easier. Some people
Our
say
preferences
some-
are also connected with the references we had, right?
Of course.
Yeah,
Some
well,
people
see.
say mathematics is hard. Not some people, 90% of them. And I'm one of them. Mathematics is hard. But some other people are going to come here
And say that's
it's
easy.
easy.
It's a
Some
piece
people
of
have
cake.
20 over 20. On the other hand, some people say
Yeah.
that English is hard. People who don't understand English language and are having English at academic school, they have a lot of bad scores and they say English is hard. I can't even understand this test. But I used to have 20 over 20 in all my tests in 11th grade. From the beginning to the end of the year 2020. So it was always easy for me. So
Yeah.
it's about preferences.
Yeah. So still talking about identity.
Yeah.
That's an interesting question, and I couldn't just forget it. So there are people who say,
Okay.
like, you are learning English. Of course, we understand.
Yeah.
You have the influence. You are going to have the influence of Portuguese in your English, and you should value that. You don't have to fight to speak like an American, because that's the influence. That's what identifies you as a Portuguese or someone from Angola, for instance. Okay, because the influence Portuguese people from Brazil will have no, the influence we are going to find on the English of Portuguese of people from Brazil are different from people from Portugal, are different from people from Mozambique, are different from people from Angola, because we have our local languages, which has also influence in the Portuguese we speak, right? So do you see that as limitation or as really valuing our identities?
Okay, I would say limitation. This would be my opinion. Why? I see things the other way around. I have a very different perspective of things from what people see. Because you are going to care about your identity, and you're going to want to represent your origin, your roots, your identity when you speak your language, your Portuguese. That's what you need to keep. If you're from an African English speaking country, you have to keep your kind of English. That's your language that represents you. But when you get out of your language and learn a different language, you're not representing yourself anymore, because that's nothing from that's not something from your country. So you're not representing yourself anymore. You're getting into another atmosphere, and if you're going to get in there, you have to mingle there. You have to be in the melting spot. In the melting pot, I mean, you have to learn to speak the same way that the people there do, people who you are going to find. Because one of the things that we really need to consider while learning a language is that we have to learn it for communication's sake.
Of course, that I was about to talk about
To
that.
communicate, you know, and when we go into when we come into communication field, we're gonna see that we have to sound as clear and as natural as possible in order for people understand us.
Because communication is not about us, it's about how people are going to perceive.
Yeah, in order for people to understand us.
Yeah.
Because if you have, for example, if there's a movie that's actually a series that I used to watch, and there's somebody with the name Hector, and he came from Argentina. He was learning English, so he didn't speak English as clearly as the other one, the native speakers. So just imagine how the guy pronounces really. A native speaker says really. It says really. I really want to talk to you. So people can get confused. There was a Chinese. There was a Chinese girl that was asked the number at the apartment, the number at her apartment, and instead of saying my apartment number or my door number is 3629, 3629, that is the standard pronunciation, 3629. She said 3629.
369.
Now imagine 3 sex tonight.
Ah.
So they understood completely the other way around. The sex is free tonight. Free sex tonight. So the guy was like, what? So she just say 3629. Okay? But unfortunately, a lot of people can't emit the TH sound. They can't say th or the, and they end up adding another sounds instead of 3. This is hard for them, so they say, okay, I'm gonna put a similar sound. I'm gonna put an F, and it's gonna be free instead of 3. So they say 1, 2, 3, but free means like
That's
deliberate.
That's about
or
comfort
something
zone,
without
as you
price.
said. Yeah.
Comfort zone.
Comfort zone.
Exactly. And another example for the same number, some people can't pronounce the th, so they put a t. Let me say 1, 2, 3, but tree is something from which you take a fruit. That is a totally different thing. So you say tree, and I imagine a mango tree, an apple tree, but I don't imagine a number.
Yeah.
So it is very, very important to think about communication. And if we think about that, of course, we need to get rid of our language to learn another language. Because if we mix, people are certainly going to get confused.
Okay, from that I concluded that never mind the version of English you are going to choose to learn. We have to take into consideration the communication. For instance, if you choose the what's that?
British,
The
Australian.
British, or even let's go to African English. If you choose the South African English, just make sure you speak the standard English, because when someone speaks the standard English, can communicate with anyone, okay, around the world, or unless the person that you are talking to has like an accent that belongs to a specific group of people. You see, so never mind the version of English, you have to ensure you are speaking the standard English.
Yeah.
I can communicate with people from South Africa, those who can speak the standard English. I can communicate with people from Australia, South Africa, United States of America, and all the countries around the what's UK.
Okay.
So that's because of the standard English.
Because when you speak the standard, standard is something that everybody can understand.
Of course.
Everybody can understand standard. But if you speak a specific group's accent, then you're getting out of everybody's comfort zone and getting into something particular that only you and that group understand.
Yeah, and I have also a reference of it. For instance, I don't see myself like a really American English speaker, but I'm more American than British. You see, I'm more American than British. And it's kind of difficult for me to understand the American English, but I understand Uncle Ben. I watch many cartoons with British accents and so on, and I understand that easily. You see, that's because they speak the standard English. We have standard English, we have a standard American English, we have a standard British English, but we have a version of English that can be easily understood by everybody. It's like Portuguese. We those who studied, they can understand each other regardless of the place they are coming from. So that's basically it.
Yeah, because American English can be harder to be understood because everything is connected. Literally everything is connected. I was watching a movie and the boy was being told by his mom, "You should do the dishes. I'm always telling you. I keep telling you to do the dishes and you keep forgetting it." And say, "Mom, I'll get around to it, all right?" And I was like, "What?" And then, let me go back. And I went back and it said, "I'll get around to it, all right?" I said, "Wow." And when I see this kind of thing, I love it. And then I start applying into my way to communicate as well. As I said, my way to communicate as well. Yeah, my way to communicate as well. So everything is connected. And British is more old-fashioned. They like to emphasize word by word. Yeah, they speak like they're telling you a story or something like that. And that's why it gets easier to be understood.
You mentioned a very important aspect, which is connected sound or connected speech. I would like to know from you what are some of the different rules we have to apply this in communication, because some people feel like their English is very rudimentary because they don't communicate. They finish all the words. They don't like apply those rules yet there. So I want to know from you as a pronunciation coach, which are some of the different rules we have to connect the sounds of different words in a sentence when they are brought together.
Okay. So I always tell my students this is the best one. A consonant with another consonant, it's like a car and another car. What happens if you join them?
They crash.
Exactly, an accident. It's not a good thing. So it's not a good thing when you join a consonant at the end of a word with a consonant at the beginning of another word.
Like a goody day.
Good day. You see,
Yeah.
it's not a good thing. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you can actually feel
Yeah,
that
like,
something is crashing. Something is like not soft. For example, okay, once I was teaching my beginners, and the topic was basic conversation. Then I was looking at it, basic.
Just keep on. Just keep on.
Okay,
Just
then I was
amazing.
looking at it and I saw basic. It finished or ended with C, and then conversation started with C.
Good.
And then I thought a lot of people would read basic conversation, but why? Consonant and consonant. We take that first consonant and we keep the second, so it's gonna be basic conversation. This is how we start connecting basic conversation. And then if you have the letter
consonants.
if you have the letter T. If you have the letter T at the end of a word, and then the other word starts with a vowel, then you can connect because vowel and consonant is a perfect marriage.
Marriage.
A vowel and consonant is a perfect marriage. For example, that sentence, I'll get around to it. I'll get around to it. Get around. Get around. Get around. To it. Get around to it. Get around to it. And then, alright, at the end, I'll get around to it, alright? So, this is how we start connecting. And in order for us to connect, of course, we have to learn the rules. Yeah, we have to learn the rules. And let me talk about some contractions as well. Kinda, gonna, wanna. A lot of people know those.
Before you talk
yeah?
about that, what happens when we have a word starting with a ending with a consonant, and the following word is starting with a different consonant?
With a different consonant. Let me look for examples.
Like
It
what
depends.
do? What do you do?
We also take the first consonant, which is the T, because we're not going to say what do you do. We're going to say what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? What comes after the letter T? Not what comes after
the
letter T. And the contractions are also going to explain that, because just imagine we say kind of. People say kinda, but they don't know how this is formed. How this is created. Where does it come from? They just tell you, okay, kind of is kinda. But how is of transforming into a? Kinda. Where's the F? That's what we need to ask ourselves. First, we say kind, and then we have the O and F. This word in American English is pronounced av. In British, it can be both av or of, because in British the vowels are more closed, are less open or broader than the American accent. So everything is closed, and they're gonna say of. But in American accent, they will say av. So kind of. Connect, kind of.
And the F is not emphasized.
Okay, we have the F there. So why don't we say kind of? Because when it depends. For example, the F can be kept. It's gonna have a V sound, but it can be kept if the other word starts with a vowel. For example, kind of options. Kind of options.
Okay.
You got it. Kind of options. When the other word after of starts with a consonant, then the F sound or the V sound is gonna be dropped. We're not gonna say of anymore, because I told you about consonant plus consonant. So kind of things. Kind of things. The F is gonna fall down. It's gonna
Yeah.
be dropped because of the T, for the sake of the next consonant that is coming. It's gonna be
Good.
kind of things,
Mhm.
kind of cars. I don't like this
Mm.
kind of cars. I don't like this kind of food.
Mhm.
But you can say, I like this kind of options. I like this kind of ideas. I like
Mhm.
this kind of apples.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what happens in the connected speech.
Okay.
There are a lot of things, elision, intrusion. Intrusion is when you add a sound that is not there. For example, throw it. You produce the sound we. Throw it. In the middle, you're gonna have throw it. Throw it. Throw it out. I wanna throw it out. I wanna throw it to you. This kind of things. And when you say this kind of things, then in this example, I took the D because I can make it shorter.
Yeah, yeah,
I can say
yeah.
kind of things, but if I'm speaking
Kinda
really
thing.
fast as I did previously, I can say kind of things. Yeah,
Yeah,
this kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
things and stuff.
Good. Now
And
going back to the contractions, you were talking about
Yeah.
contractions. This is also a very important
Yeah.
topic when it comes to pronunciation and connected speech. So, what do you have to tell us about that?
Okay, I just talked about the first one, which is kinda.
Yeah.
Now let me go to the other ones. I'm not gonna talk about all of them because there are
Yeah,
plenty
yeah,
contractions.
yeah.
But I'm going to pick up one, the most
Wanna,
common.
yeah.
One, for example, two words, a verb and a preposition. Want to, want to. But this two, in American English, can be stressed and unstressed. When is it going to be stressed? When we want to emphasize the to. When we want to emphasize the preposition to. When we want to, for example, let me give an example. I'm talking. Okay, there's a difference between saying I'm talking to you in a normal rhythm. I'm talking to you, and or you're talking to me, and then you're talking to me. There's a difference.
Yeah,
Here,
yeah,
I want
there
to emphasize the two. So there, it's gonna be stressed, but in most situations, it's gonna be unstressed. And when it's unstressed, it's pronounced as t,
Yeah, t.
like a ah
With
sound,
schwa sound.
But a lot of people try to pronounce it like a very open sound.
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't believe you're saying that we have to pronounce ta like ta. I'm going to school. No,
That's good. No.
it's not gonna be
Schwa,
good.
schwa.
It's not even gonna be good or beautiful this way. So it's a very relaxed, as I told you about
Yeah,
placement. It has to be here.
unstressed.
Is the schwa sound? We are going to say ta ta ta, and then want ta. Then we're gonna use all the rules and blend them all together. Want ta. The first thing I explained. Two letters.
Letters,
They're
yeah.
equal and they're consonants. One to two. Nobody speaks like this.
Yeah,
Drop the first T. It's gonna be one,
One,
two.
two.
1 2, but 2 is pronounced ta
Ta.
in American
One,
English.
ta.
So 1 ta, 1 ta, 1 ta. And then another rule is that the letter T, when it comes after the N
N
sound,
sound.
it's gonna be the
Plural.
silent T.
Silent
So
T,
we
silent
take
T.
it. So it's gonna be one no,
No,
T because
yeah.
we took both T's. It's gonna be one.
Like
That,
happen in the internet,
one.
for instance, internet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Internet is that kind of T as well. So
Okay.
here is gonna be one. That's pretty much what happens. And got as well.
Got her. Yeah.
Got to. Got to. We have two letters, got to, and those letters are equal, so we consider just one. Take one of the T's,
And pick it.
and that T that's gonna remain is gonna be in the middle of two consonants, so we say got it.
Got her. Yeah, I completely understood. So, we are at the end of this episode, and before we start it, I want you to share with me and also ask me to do some exercises that we can do in order to improve our pronunciation, our American pronunciation.
Okay, good. First, I'm gonna give a very, 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 very basic trick that a lot of people don't know. And once I was discussing it with with an American, and she was actually doubting it. No, I'm an American. There's a difference between what we see in the movies and the reality. I'm an American, but she was born there. But then she came to live here when she was 8 years old or 7 years old, and she grew up here, speaks Portuguese as well. And she'll say, "No, I'm an American, and I've never seen." But I always say, being a native speaker is not being a proficient.
Yeah.
She didn't know this rule, but then she checked out and she could actually see that I was right, because this is about can, the verb can.
Can, yeah.
This verb in American English is tricky for other people to understand, because both positive and negative can look similar. They may look similar. If I say I can understand,
Yeah,
this is a positive.
yeah.
I can understand, because the positive can is short, very
yeah.
short. I can do it. Can you help me? Can you help me? I can do it. I can try. But the negative can is
Longer?
actually longer. The vowel sound is longer, and you have to make it look similar to the car brand Kia, like can. You have to make it look like this.
Can.
And then the aspiration has to be stronger. I can't. I can't. And then at the end, you have to put a pause. A pause,
I
like
can't do that.
like the pause is gonna be like this. I can't do it. I can't hear you.
can't, yeah.
I can't hear you.
I
The
can't
pause.
do
I
that.
can't hear you. See?
Uh,
Yeah, I can't hear you. You can't do this.
I can't go there.
And it has to come with the
Yeah,
facial expression
expressions.
that actually helps people understand this. And now, in order to help you or people there on the other side to improve their pronunciation, I'm going to tell you about shadowing. You have to imitate what native speakers say, but something we can do right now here
Yeah, we can do
is
it.
tongue twisters.
Tongue twisters.
You have to practice with a lot of tongue twisters to make your tongue be softer and adaptable to every single sound in English. There are 2 or 3, I don't know how many I'm going to remember, but they really, really help people to improve pronunciation. So let's go for the first one. The first one is composed by 4 words only. Red lorry, yellow lorry.
Red lorry, yellow
Yellow
lorry.
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 Yellow lorry.
Hold on. Red lorry, yellow lorry.
But it's not gonna make sense if we speak like this. Like this, we're not training.
Yeah,
In
that's-
order to train, we need to accelerate. We need to accelerate more and more.
yeah.
And we're gonna go like red lorry, yellow lorry.
Red lorry, yellow lorry.
Red lorry, yellow lorry.
Red lorry, yellow lorry.
And then you need to accelerate
Yellow lorry.
until you're able to say red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry, yellow lorry. When you get to that point, you are pro.
Okay, let me try.
Yeah.
Red lorry, yellow lorry. Red lorry, yellow lorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very hard.
This is not
Yeah,
actually-
Yeah. Red lorry, yellow lorry. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
red
really
lorry,
tongue
yellow lorry,
twister.
red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry, yellow lorry. It became a song because my tongue is very light now.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
adapted
yeah.
to every sound.
Yeah.
And as I told my friend, this is not something you're gonna get in one day. This is something you need to keep practicing,
Yeah.
and that's for your entire life. Is it when you practice this kind of tongue twisters like red lorry, yellow lorry, you have a lot of so
yeah.
then when you say a sentence like this that I said previously, that's for your entire life. With a lot of R sounds, it's gonna be easier.
Yeah.
That's for your entire life.
Yeah.
Red lorry, yellow lorry, the same thing. And the other one is with the Z sounds. Because there's a huge difference between the Z and the S. If you say kiss, I want the kiss to open the door, you're saying that you want a kiss to open the door, which doesn't make sense. But you have to pronounce keys with the Z sound. That is the plural of a key.
Keys.
So I want the keys to the office. The keys to the office, not the kiss.
Yeah,
Because
I know.
kiss is a
It's-
different thing.
yeah.
So you have to practice the Z sound as well. And there's something. There's a tongue twister that goes. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy
Hey.
Wuzzy wasn't very fuzzy, was he?
Hey, no, let's go step by step.
Step by step.
Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear.
Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair.
Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair.
Had no hair.
Let's go again. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Oh.
Yeah, if you think about the meaning, it's gonna help you
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
So Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't very fuzzy, was he?
Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't very fuzzy, was he?
Exactly. Now you say fast. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a very fuzzy, was he?
Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy has no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't very fuzzy, was he?
Yeah, good improvement. Then you need to keep practicing this way, and you're
repeating.
gonna be your tongue is gonna say thanks.
Yeah.
And the other one, it's not even complete on my mind. I'm not gonna remember it, but it starts like Betty bought better butter to make the butter better, something like that. A lot of flat
Yeah,
T's.
I think I know this one.
Yeah.
That's like Betty butter, but some butter. But she said the butter is bitter. If I put it in my butter, it will make my butter bitter, butter. I was trying to turn this one when I was practicing the R sound of the American English.
Yeah.
But that was I think more than a year ago, and I'm kind of forgetting it.
Yeah, but a perfect one for the R sound is the first one. Red lorry, yellow lorry. Because red lorry,
yellow lorry.
Yeah,
Red
and it
lorry,
practices both the beginning R and the R in the middle or the end words. Because I don't know if you know, but there are differences of pronunciation between the beginning R, the R at the beginning, and the R at the end of words. They are totally different. Yeah, at the beginning we curve, we round our lips, and then we spread the sound like this. We say rich. We say red, and then the second is different. It's like lorry. So we say red lorry. You know, we have to curve like lorry.
Yellow lorry.
So it goes red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry, yellow lorry, and it starts practicing both kinds of R. So with all of this, if you keep practicing all of those tricks, better saying, you are certainly going to acquire the American accent. And don't forget the aspiration as well. Yeah, if you pay attention, look, I said pay attention, acquire. Like, I can't speak without without aspiration. I always use it. So aspiration in everything.
That makes a very huge difference.
Of course.
Okay, so thank you for these tips. That was that enriched my knowledge about the American English, and I'll of course train it. I have time for that. So now I want to, if you have advice for people who are there on the other side watching us, that's probably because they are interested in the American accent, they want to improve it and so on. So do you have any advice?
Of course I do. First, it is possible, and I'm the proof of it. I'm the living proof. It is possible. You can actually have the American accent. A lot of people ask me, have you ever been to US? Have you ever been abroad? But I've never. So you can put into work. You can stop at nothing to acquire it, and it's going to be possible. And I'd like to advise you to start now, because it takes a lot of time. So the sooner you start, the better. Start now, start studying, stop at nothing. When I say stop at nothing, it's not stop for no reason. It means to put into a lot of effort. So stop at nothing to get what you want. And don't confuse American accent with speaking like a gangster. Or using a lot of slangs, a lot of filler words. You can speak the formal, standard, with no filler American accent, as I'm doing right now. That's the correct the correct standard American accent, and I advise everybody to go for it. But of course, if you have the dream or desirability to speak like a New York gangsta, you can go for it as well, because dreams are indiscussable. We can't discuss what people want. So if you relate to those people, relate to that kind of accent and pronunciation, even because when I watch movies, I like to listen to that kind of English. You ain't finna talk to me that way. Like, I like to listen to it. I say, very beautiful pronunciation, but
that's good.
That is something. There are things that are just for me to watch, not to use.
To learn, also in order to understand. Okay, because
So that's pretty much my advice. Go for what you want, and it is possible.
Okay, so thank you, Mr. Isaac. That was really, really nice to have you here. And guys, don't forget, we are at Casa de Fluência. The fluency you're looking for is right here. See you now.
Cheers.